In our last update, which was right there, we were still expecting higher prices, and what I wanted to see was a higher low to be formed before seeing that move into our resistance, which was around $115,000. Now, even though my support was actually at $113,100, what I expected to see is what you see right there. Once again, a higher low before moving into our resistance. And at this point, I wanted to see, do we get a rejection to see much lower prices, or do we break above and see higher prices? And if you go over to the charts, well, that's exactly what happened. We got the job, we put in a higher low, and then moved up into our resistance, which was around this area. We didn't get the best reaction and ended up moving higher. So what did I personally do? Well, this time, after our update, as we had the CPI news, I did decide not to trade, okay? So we did have the CPI news, got that big job, and personally, I decided not to trade this price action. In hindsight, of course, it was a bit of a mistake because, as I always say, the news do not affect the charts. And as we wanted to see the higher low formed, CPI or not, we did form that higher low, and we did move back up into our resistance. And at this point, I was not interested in opening any short positions, simply because what I expected was that if we formed the high, it would be the next day. So I just waited. The next day I woke up, we did indeed move higher. We pushed a bit above our resistance, which was not the best reaction. So all I did at this point is outline one very important support from 114.7 to 114.9. If I open the charts, it was this area. If we lost it, personally, I would have expected a much bigger drop. But of course, if you hold it, then you simply expect a bounce. I waited for the reaction, we jumped into it, we had a nice imbalance, I took my long position, and it was still holding going into the New York Open. Once again, it was a crucial level. And after that, I did decide to call it a week, and I did put a hard stop loss around the current lows. And a couple of hours later, we did get that very nice move up, and I implemented a take profit one on my long position. So even though I unfortunately missed this long position that I shared in my last update, we were able to come back the next day, outline one support, we jumped into it, and we got an amazing reaction, as you can see, and I did implement a take profit on my long position. And then after that, in our Sunday live stream, what I wanted to see was a move up above these highs to then potentially see a reversal to the upside. And why did I want to see that? Well, if we go over to the charts, Friday's highs, if you watch our live stream, what I said was that these highs were extremely ugly. Why? Because we didn't have any wick, as you can see. And as you know, personally, I really dislike wickless highs and lows. So that's why, as I expected these highs to get taken out, I just took the next step. And what did we have above these highs? We had these highs, we had these imbalances, but also for one final confluence, we had this range point of control, okay? And that's why, in my view, it made sense that since I expected this high to get taken out, we would probably move up, take out this high as well, and then potentially see a reversal to the downside, which is the exact scenario that I outlined right there. But unfortunately, we just took out Friday's highs before reversing lower. I didn't expect that really, but in any case, I was sleeping, so I would not have been able to catch that short position. And after this drop, I did get stopped out the rest of my long position because I had my stop loss at entry, okay? So once again, $114,900. But also, I was not really interested in trading simply because I did expect a bit of drop before FOMC, which is tomorrow. However, if we go over to the charts, price action did actually end up being very clean because just as we took out the range highs before reversing, we just took out the range lows before reversing to the upside as well. So I would say that these were pretty easy trades to take. This one was a miss long on my part, I have to admit, but in any case, that's not a big problem. And with that said, what can we expect next? Well, at this point, personally, I am still not very interested in trading before the FOMC. Even though I always say that the news do not affect the charts, I am still very interested in what will happen psychologically during the FOMC meeting. And personally, what I'm expecting is that we had outlined this support inside of our live stream. What do we have there? We have a 1 hour imbalance, we have a 4 hour imbalance, a 4 hour order block, And finally, we have a 12-hour imbalance and one more confluence actually. If you take the volume profile of this entire range, we also have the value area low around this area. And that's why, as you can see, we have very nice confluence around that level, which comes in around $112,500. So personally, what I would love to see happen is that if tomorrow Powell, in my opinion, he will sound a bit more hawkish than people expect. So what we could get is a bit of sideways price action today. I'm not really expecting a breakdown today, but if it does happen, it's not a problem. So a bit of sideways price action or maybe even move down. And if we do get this tomorrow, I would love to see a big move down during the FOMC. So when Powell speaks, will he sound more hawkish than people expect? Maybe. If he does, then in my opinion, we could get that very big drop, scare a lot of people. And at this point, if we get a nice reaction, I will look to take it back up to take out these highs. My opinion, these highs will get taken out for two main reasons. The first one is that this one was put in too early in the week. And usually when that happens, in my view, these are not the best highs and lows. So that's the first reason. And the second one is that now we have a triple top. You have the first high, the second high, and the third high. So above all of these highs, you have a lot of liquidity and you still have that confluence of the 4-hour imbalances. And as I showed you previously, we have the range point of control above these highs. So that's why, even though we did see a reversal after it, I am still expecting these highs to get taken out. If I just remove all of this, I am expecting these highs to get taken out. That's why, once again, if we are able to drop before taking out these highs, in my opinion, that would scare a lot of people, especially if it happens during or after the FOMC. And then if you get a good reaction at that level, once again, you can open a long position to take it higher. Now, on the other hand, if we do move up first, then personally at this point, I will be a bit more patient for the shorts because I don't want to be aggressive with the shorts here. I will wait, be a bit more patient, and then if we get a confirmed failed auction above that high, then I don't mind opening a short position a bit lower to hopefully see a further drop to the downside. But that's not really what I'm expecting. I wouldn't like to see a move up first, but if it does happen again, just be aware of a failed auction scenario. So with all of that said, that was mainly it for this update. A quick recap. To the downside, I only have one support level, which comes around $112,500. As I showed you, we have a lot of confidence around this level. So ideally, if we can get a drop tomorrow, during or after the FOMC, in my opinion, that would scare a lot of people. If you get the imbalances and you get the reaction, this could offer a very nice long position, take it back up and take out this triple top. On the other hand, if we do move up first, then personally I will be very cautious with the short positions until we confirm a failed auction, in which case of course that would be a sign of weakness. I can look for shorts potentially for a bigger drop to the downside. And of course, if we do get that drop and we lose my support level, then I will simply make a new update outlining what I'm looking for next. So as usual, if you guys enjoyed this update, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.